Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well as always. As you can hear from my voice, I'm doing okay. I've been better, but I'm not as bad as I was a week or so ago when I actually came down with COVID. COVID finally got to me. Actually, both Rob and I and his parents had it. They came to visit, and unfortunately they brought this little virus with them, and we've all been ill, but somehow I'm the one who's left with these cold symptoms that I hope will go away soon. But this is partially why there wasn't a video last week, and actually I wanted to post this video this last Friday, 2 days ago rather than today, because I have some exciting news to share with you in this video that I wanted to share then, but because of feeling a bit crappy and having Rob's parents visit, it's coming out today instead. Better late than never. I think that's probably my MO in life. And the exciting news is that I've actually submitted my ebook to be part of a plant-based bundle, which is basically an ebook bundle where lots of plant-based food creatives and creators submit their ebooks to be part of this big bundle that we are selling for 10 days. So it started Friday, that was the 1st of July, and it goes on until the 10th of July. And there are more than 100 ebooks in this bundle, and we're selling the bundle for $50, which is a huge discount if you were going to buy each book individually. I think the price if you bought every book individually would come to something like $4,000, which is a little nuts. But yes, it's sold for $50 for these 10 days. And the bundle contains a variety of ebooks, all in the plant-based category, of course. So there are lots of recipe ebooks. There are also meal plans and beginner plant-based vegan guides, nutrition guides, fitness guides, and much more. And how it works when you buy the bundle is that you get a confirmation email with a link where you can download all the ebooks. You can download them to your stationary computer, your laptop, your tablet, your phone, so that you have easy access to them when you want to read them, or you want to cook from the recipes and use the ebooks in your kitchen, or when you're working out, you can just have your device and open the ebooks there. I really like ebooks for this reason. You can have lots of them stored on a device rather than carrying around, a big lump of books everywhere. So that's basically how it works. It's very simple, and there's lots of information on the website as well, which I link in the description box. And today I'll be cooking from some of these books in this What I Eat in a Day. But before we get into the food, I just want to say that if you are interested in the bundle, you want to check it out further, or maybe even purchase it, then please use my link in the description box. That would really help me out. And I really think that there's lots of value in the bundle, and if you get it, I really hope you will enjoy it. And of course you will also then get my ebook Comfort, which is part of the bundle if you don't already have it. Thank you also to everyone again if you have already bought my ebook separately. But yes, now let's get into the food and let's cook some yummy stuff from some of these ebooks. And for breakfast, which I've already made actually, I had some creamy white beans on toast, and this is a recipe from an ebook called Happy Skin Kitchen by a creator whose name is Elisa Rossi. This is a new book to me, it's a new creator to me, but when I saw her book I felt really inspired. There are lots and lots of recipes in her ebook. They're all plant-based and all sort of focused towards cultivating good skin, which I think everyone wants, I guess. So yeah, I chose this recipe from her ebook, and it was really yummy. Let me show you. I heated up a little bit of oil in my skillet, and then I grabbed some garlic cloves and pressed them in there using my garlic press and fried that off for about a minute or so until it was fragrant. Then I added in a can of cannellini beans that I had drained and rinsed, and I fried that off for a minute or so again before I added in some yogurt to make it really creamy. I also added in a little bit of water as the recipe said and stirred all of that through and cooked it down a little bit with some salt and pepper. Finally, to add that zesty touch that the recipe promised, I grated in the zest of half a lemon, and I also squeezed in about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I stirred that through, and then the creamy beans were done. To serve the beans, I had some toast that I spread some avocado on top of, as the recipe suggested, and I seasoned it with a little bit of salt and pepper and lemon as I mashed it, and then I just piled the beans on top of the toast and the avo, and I sprinkled a little bit of chili flakes on top as well as some coriander because I had it on hand and thought it could be a yummy addition. This breakfast was both really satisfying and filling. It was also delicious, of course. I love beans and avo and toast, so this was totally a thumbs up from me. And it's nice to have a different kind of beans on toast. These creamy beans with lemon and garlic were really fresh now for summer. To drink with my breakfast, I had some cold brew jasmine tea, which is one of my favorites in summer. You just pop the tea leaves in with water overnight in the fridge and you have a nice cold brew in the morning. And I also had some cherries on the side, one of my favorite summer fruits. So for lunch, I'm going to be making a Gado inspired bowl, and this recipe is by a recipe creator called Alexandra. She has a YouTube channel, 5 Sec Health, and we've even collaborated and met before, so I'll link that video somewhere up here. She's really lovely, and unfortunately her ebooks themselves are not in the bundle, but she shares 3 recipes in another ebook by Jon and Helena, another couple from Sweden, and the recipe ebook is a 14-day meal plan. So there are 14 different creators that share breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I think even sometimes snacks and desserts for each day, so that you can learn some yummy vegan recipes. And I think this is especially good for beginner vegans, and the bundle itself has a few of these meal plans, which I think is super if you're new to veganism or want to try a plant-based diet, or even if you want to just have some new ideas and get your creative juices flowing in the kitchen if you feel like you're in a rut. So yeah, we're going to be making this one recipe from this one meal plan from the bundle, and it's a very simple recipe, but it looks really yummy. It's got a bunch of raw veggies, some noodles, and tempeh, as well as a good dressing. So let's make it. First, I made the very easy marinade for the tempeh by combining soy sauce or tamari with some grated ginger. I did this in a shallow container so I could immerse the tempeh in that container. The tempeh I used was this lupin tempeh, which is a Swedish product, but you could use any tempeh that you have on hand, and I cut it into small cubes that I'm then gonna bake in the oven. So I had the oven preheating as well, and in Alexandra's recipe she explains how to remove that funky taste from tempeh, but this tempeh actually doesn't have that funky taste, so I just went right ahead and added the tempeh cubes in with the marinade, and I just made sure to immerse them in that sauce, and then I left them for about 15 minutes. Next, I prepared the noodles, and the recipe says to use glass noodles, which are these very fine noodles which take a very short time to prepare. So I just boiled some water and then immersed the noodles in the water for about 3 minutes, but you use package instructions. And then I drained them and rinsed them with some cold water and set aside while I did the other components for the recipe. At this point I was ready to bake my tempeh, so I just transferred it to a lined baking sheet. I spread it out and then I popped it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius, and this just makes them nice and golden. And then I returned to my counter and I made the sauce, which starts with some peanut butter as well as some tamari or soy sauce, as well as a little bit of maple syrup for sweetness and then some lime for acidity. As you start to mix this sauce together, it might seem that it's all just a lumpy mess, especially if you, like me, use some crunchy peanut butter. But all you need to do to thin it out is add a little bit of water and keep mixing it, and you get this nice silky sauce. The last prep for the recipe was to chop up some veggies, and I started off by just slicing up some cucumber into little quarter shapes, I guess. Then I also chopped up some red pepper. The recipe called for bell pepper, but it was a better price in my store for these long peppers, so I just used them, but any sweet pepper will do. I also chopped up some cabbage. Again, I used a green fresh summer cabbage while the recipe called for red cabbage, but I like to just use the seasonal produce and I love the summer cabbage. And it seems I didn't follow the recipe at all, because here I'm using leaves, mixed leaves instead of lettuce, because that's what I had on hand. And then I layered the other ingredients on top, the cabbage, the peppers and the cucumbers, as well as the baked tempeh that is ready just in time. To finish everything off, I grabbed a handful of fresh coriander and I really generously sprinkled this all over the plate as the recipe suggested. This recipe was a perfect summer lunch. It's super fresh and light, but very satisfying with the savory tempeh and the lovely dressing that just makes everything really delicious. And you have all that crunchy veg as well, which is always so nice to chew down on. The best way to eat this though is probably to just mix everything up and then enjoy it all as one. Later that afternoon we had a little treat as well of some vegan ice cream with whipped cream and some strawberries, the best summer dessert. And then I popped down to our shared garden to get some herbs for dinner, and as you can see, our shared herb garden is really thriving. It's so nice to see. Unfortunately, not that many of my neighbors are using it, but I'm very happy to go down there and grab some parsley and some thyme, which is what we need for dinner tonight. A little ant tried to come back with us to the flat, but I gave him a little wind bump and left him in the garden as I popped back to the kitchen. So finally, for dinner, I'm going to be making a recipe from an ebook called Nothing But Nudes by Lauren Toyota from Hot for Food. I've actually been following Lauren's channel from even before I started making my own videos. She was always someone who inspired me, and I like her sort of attitude. I think she's funny. So yes, I'm going to be making a recipe from her ebook. She actually has 2 ebooks in the bundle, which is really cool. The one is about comfort food, and then there's this book that I'm using now, which is all about noodle dishes. So pasta, noodles from different angles. And the recipe I'm making is a shallot pasta. She uses pappardelle, however you pronounce that, in her recipe. But since I'm gluten-free, I'm going to use tagliatelle for my portion, and then Rob's going to have the pasta that Lauren suggests. It's again a pretty simple recipe. I chose pretty simple recipes today because I'm still a little unwell, as I've told you and you can hear. So I didn't want to make it too hard for myself, but there definitely is a wide range of recipes in the bundle. Everything from really simple recipes to much more complicated recipes, and recipes that suit different themes like Christmas and parties. And if you want to go high protein, if you want to try raw food, there really is lots to choose from and something for everyone. But yeah, I've chosen some simple, yummy recipes for myself today, and this is one of them. So let's make this shallot pasta. Of course, a caramelized shallot pasta recipe starts with slicing up some shallots, and I sliced them really finely as the recipe suggested, and then I heated up some oil and some vegan butter in a large skillet, which I'm then going to cook the sliced shallots in very gently and slowly to allow them to caramelize and become really soft and jammy and golden. You want to keep the heat low while you are caramelizing your shallots and make sure that they're all coated in the fats. Then you just leave them for a few minutes at a time before you toss them and move them around so that they don't burn on any side. While the shallots are caramelizing, I'm cooking my pasta, and don't forget to salt the water. Then I'm just going to chop up my parsley so that I'm ready to add that in when I need to. After about 15 minutes or so, your shallots should be really soft and nicely golden, and at this point you can add in the fresh thyme, just the leaves, and then half of the parsley as well. Then you pour in some dry white wine and you let that cook off for a couple of minutes. And then finally, before you add in the pasta, you'll want to melt in a little bit more vegan butter and just mix that through the shallots. When everything looks silky and glossy without being too wet, pop in the pasta along with a little bit of the starchy pasta water and toss everything together and let it cook for a couple more minutes, and then you have your lovely caramelized shallot pasta. As the recipe suggests, you'll want to serve this straight away for the best results. The final touches for this recipe is to add some shaved parmesan, or I used a grater to do this. I don't really think it matters all that much to the taste, just for the visual. And then I sprinkled over the leftover parsley, the chopped parsley, as the recipe suggested. So this was actually super easy to make, very few ingredients, and it looks absolutely delicious. So let's give it a taste. It is very yummy, very simple, like I said, to make, but also simple in the flavors, but still very good. You get the sweetness from the caramelized shallots. You get herbiness from the herbs, and it's very sort of silky, creamy, the pasta, because of cooking it in butter, of course. And the wine just adds a little bit of brightness to everything, although you don't taste it as such. So a very simple but yummy dish. I give it a big thumbs up, like all the recipes I've been making today, and I look forward to making many more recipes from the plant-based bundle myself. And of course, I encourage you to check it out. You can use my link down below, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I really think you get a lot in that bundle, so I hope at least a few of you will want to purchase it and will enjoy it. And yeah, now I'm gonna eat this for dinner. I should have probably made some sort of salad on the side, maybe with some beans, to make it more of a complete meal, but I'm tired. It's very hot at the moment. I feel I'm a little bit sweaty, and I think I just want to go sit down and enjoy my lovely bowl of pasta. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope you are doing really good wherever you are. thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. It won't be next week. I'm taking a little break just to give myself more time to rest, and then I'll be back. So see you then. Take care.